Hi YouTube, Edward Tyndall here. I want to show y'all some pictures. This is going in the list with the sworn testimony. I want to show y'all some pictures of some things before Sarah's stroke. Y'all can look back on all your videos. This is her fingernails. I've always been a great caregiver to her. Despite what anybody says, I took her in weekly or every 2 weeks to get her fingernails done. I always fed her the best foods out of pocket cost. I made sure she had an active life in the community, and she got to partake in hunting and stuff like that. I went to Tinley Park. This is us standing outside of her grandma's house. She didn't want to go, but I took her anyway. Multiple times, and still to this day, they have never come to visit her. One time here, so they don't need to now. Here is her at another fancy restaurant, and I got thousands of pictures like this on the internet. Mikey doing his mother's leopard geckos. There's her eating well. I took the best care of her. Here's her with a snake. I lost a scar since this thing right after I won a court case going up against 12 judges. I got grandfathered in with my thing. Let's see what else. I'm missing something here. No, that's it on there. Give me 1 second, people. I'm going to stop this. We're right here. Bear with me. Because this, I need to know. Going over the court order. For your haters out there that are watching, wanting to be in my home every day, an hour a day, just to harass me and my wife. When they complain about a fly, right here, this thing hanging is a fly trap. That thing up there is another fly trap. And frogs do not make flies. So, thanks for discouraging my kid farther. Y'all never wanted him in school anyway. Here, I'm going to get full disclosure with all of y'all about what goes on in here. Also, this last court hearing was told that I was in contempt of court because I did not let the aunt and grandma have their time to talk, which is a lie. It's a lie, and I can prove it. They've got every single day that they were supposed to have. I'm going to read this to y'all because you can't really see it on here. On the 30th day of March 2021, a day on which this matter was set for status hearing, and on a motion to show cause, the following were present: Carol Howell, which is Sarah's aunt, and Lois Reeves, her grandma, along with Han Ben Kelly, that's their lawyer; Edward Tyndall, along with Han Wyland Gilmore Philippi, that's my lawyer; Han Jamie I. York as guardian ad litem for Sarah Congrove; and Joyce Friday, a registered nurse witness. The parties and witnesses present were sworn, and testimony was taken from Carol Howell and Joyce Friday on the motion to show cause. Additionally, Han York played a series of video clips. Also, I'm going to stop y'all right there. Nobody's allowed to record under any circumstances, but the judge is allowing video clips. I'm going to commentate some of this too. Video clips also including a shouting barrage, including explicitives from Edward Tyndall directed at Miss Reeves and or Miss Howell. I've never disrespected Sarah's grandma, not one time, but I have no respect for her aunt. And I'll read to you later in this court order, somewhere in there, that also about this court case, they want me to say hello and they want me to say goodbye. I don't even want to talk to them. Respect is something with me that is earned. It's not given freely. You earn my respect. and it damn sure is not court ordered. You're not going to force me to respect somebody. I would sooner die than be forced to respect somebody, because I'm set in my ways. Also, Howell testified that the visitation with Congrove had been interrupted on multiple occasions by Tyndall, and that Tyndall could be heard during the video visits making comments or having conversations with others, including his brother, stating how awful they testified to be in reference to Carol Howell and Lois Reeves are, and how everything is their fault. Well, I say again, where everybody can hear, it is their fault. Well, I didn't get to speak in court, so I'm speaking now. They're not going to shut me up. Joyce Friday, registered nurse employee with the Dallas County Home Health and Care Provider of Congrove, testified that the call depicted in the video clips took place while she was present with Congrove, and that she could hear Tyndall, but her testimony was that Tyndall was not in the room with the Congrove when it occurred. Further testimony from Friday revealed that Congrove, they're referring to Sarah Tyndall as Congrove, that's her other name that never changed for some reason, but she's been Tyndall for 6 years, is currently in good physical condition, and that her status has improved in recent months, and that Tyndall is providing appropriate physical care for her. Friday testified that she has been present during approximately 3 of the video visitations with Howell and Reeves, and that the demeanor of Congrove changed during those times to a state of unhappiness. Friday indicated that Congrove appears to understand conversations going on around her and seemed to be upset with some of the interactions, particularly mentioning nursery rhymes and atypical adult-to-adult conversations. Tyndall did not testify. They didn't want me to testify. I never get to testify. I don't get to tell my side of the story. So I'm speaking here. The matter was taken under advisement with the acknowledgement that both matters of the motion to show cause and status would be considered. As noted previously in an order in this cause, the purpose of guardianship and the role of this court in same is to ensure the health, safety, and well-being and welfare of the subject person or ward. Previous orders of the court have been put into place for that exact purpose. I'm going to stop right there, because it was court ordered that my wife be on oxycodone, and that's why she has a tracheotomy and a feeding tube, and that's why she got kept in the hospital 3 weeks longer than she was supposed to be, months longer than she was supposed to be at first, and got 9 different bacterial infections in her lungs by being on a lower floor because the hospital did not want to keep her no more. No evidence was presented during this hearing to indicate that Sarah Congrove is in imminent physical danger, and she's not. However, Tyndall's history of willful and deliberate violations of the court orders put in place to protect Sarah Congrove. You see how they're twisting it around? They're saying it's to protect her, but yet it's killing her. The different things that they put into effect, like the oxycodone, like the aunt and grandma sitting there harassing the hell out of her every day. His continued statements, as noted in the recordings played during the hearing, which are not allowed, but the judge is allowing it, of intent to violate the court order regarding visitation of Howell and Reeves, and the loss of control and outbursts noted in the recordings cause this court continued concern regarding his willingness and ability, both emotionally and psychologically, to provide the appropriate and care and environment for Congrove. You hear that? They're acting like I'm emotionally and psychologically not able to provide the care. 23 hours of every day, my wife is happy as she can be. 1 hour a day, she's pissed off to no end because she absolutely hates her aunt and her grandma for what they have done to our family. And I think it's appropriate. I am a public figure. I talk to at least 1,000 people every single day of my life, and I have no problem getting along with people. Everybody that knows me, they love me, or they hate me. There's no in between, but I have a lot more love than I have hate. And when you try to hurt my family, I'm going to outburst, and I'm going to be pissed because my wife is not capable of doing it. I have to, because I took an oath, a solemn vow to protect and love and cherish and take care of my wife long before we ever got married. Alright, the testimony of the nurse Friday carries great weight regarding the physical care of Sarah Congrove, same being that Edward Tyndall has been appropriately providing the physical well-being of Congrove. There were no notable triggers Listen to this. There were no notable triggers to the outburst of Tyndall noted in the videos played during the hearing. This causes the court further concern regarding the emotional state of Tyndall and his ability to continue to provide care for Congrove. I'm going to stop it right there, because that conversation that they recorded to the judge, they cut out pieces. They talk a lot of shit to me, and then when I say something back, they hit the record button and record me. But I recorded the entire conversation, so I got both sides of the story, but the judge don't want to hear it. And it's going to the news soon if this shit don't stop. And don't worry, I can't confiscate it because it's already been sent to 3 different people in 3 different states. Anything happens to me, everybody's going down. Anyone who's watching that can know that. Everybody involved will be going down if anything happens to me or my wife. Further, I've had enough. I'm coming out of this corner. While psychologically care is of great importance, the environmental, emotional, psychological, and spiritual condition and care of a person are also important to note in regards to the matter of guardianship. Congrove's current situation is that she is confined to a bed with no ability to escape. It could be detrimental to a person in this state to be subjected or exposed to emotional outbursts, negative commentary regarding family members, stress during a visitation, or any other emotional, environmentally, and or psychologically harmful or potentially harmful behaviors. In consideration of the best interests of Congrove, continue acts that could have a significant negative impact on the emotional and psychological welfare of Congrove cannot be tolerated farther. All in capital, wherefore it is hereby ordered as follows. In regards to motion to show cause, it is in order of the court that Edward Tyndall is in contempt of the previous orders of the court by his refusal to allow visitation as noted in the videos played during the hearing. However, Tyndall may purge himself of the contempt for full compliance of the order. I'm never kissing their ass when they tried to kill my wife. Never. As pertains to the matter of the emergency guardianship of Sarah Congrove, the court orders as follows. Here are going to be the court orders. The thing is, they brought this to say that I did not let them have their calls. They are liars. Liars. I have documented over 100 hours that they have called. Over 100 hours that I can prove with witnesses, with signatures, and what was going on. So, if the judge don't want to hear it, another judge will, or a senator. It can go to Supreme Court. It can go to all the way to God if it has to. This shit's going to end. Here is all of Edward Tyndall and Sarah Tyndall's rights being taken away. This is basically bullshit, 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 and bullshit. And it's going to change. So she hit me with A through Z. A, the biological family of Sarah Congrove, specifically to include the petitioners, are entitled to communication and visitation with Sarah Congrove. Edward Tyndall shall allow Carol Howell and Lois Reeves daily video visitation with Sarah Congrove beginning at 4 p.m. CST and lasting until 5 p.m. CST. Tyndall is to arrange this video visitation with his own devices or devices available to him and any and all cost to Tyndall. Further screwing me over. Everything has to be cost on me. They've cost me financial burden, my job, my home, my business, everything I have mortgaged. But they want to do more. And when they hold me in contempt, it's got to be more financial burden on me. I had to buy this house and everything else. I'm screwed. And when it comes to all that. But wait, it gets better. That's just A. B, Edward Tyndall is not to interfere with said visitation in any way. This includes, but is not limited to, the following. Edward Tyndall shall not engage with Carol Howell or Lois Reeves other than to set up the device for the video visitation. So I'm not supposed to talk to them at all, but they demand that I say hello and goodbye. Respect is earned. It's not given. And sure as shit ain't court ordered to me. Because I do have a right to live and to prosper. It's in my Constitution. And it's being taken from me. Edward Tyndall shall not interrupt or disrupt the visitations. Edward Tyndall shall not speak negatively of Carol Howell or Lois Reeves while the presence or sensory perception of Sarah Congrove. But they can sit there for an hour a day and talk total shit about me to her. Edward don't love you. Edward don't care about you. Edward's the reason you're in this shape. All that shit. And I can prove it. I can prove it. C. Edward Tyndall, Carol Howe, and Lois Reeves shall not do anything to intentionally cause or any harm or distress of Sarah Congrove. I never have. I've done nothing but help her. That's way before we got married. I've saved her life more times than I got fingers on my hands. D. Edward Tyndall shall not disclose any contact information of Carol Howe or Lois Reeves. That was another lie. They made up shit with burner phones acting like I sent text messages. And it wasn't a text message for me. They sent something like, am I doing a good job now? Like that's something I would say. That's not something I would say. I would say something to her extremely vulgar and in a very pissed off way. It wouldn't be, am I doing a good enough job? Because I don't give a shit whether she likes the job I'm doing or not. This is my family and my wife, most important of all. My wife. E. Edward Tyndall shall not contact Carol Howe or Lois Reeves directly or indirectly, other than to notify them of the status or status change in the condition of Sarah Congrove. I'm sure as shit not volunteering any more anything to them about Sarah, ever, no matter what court order there is. Y'all are watching that? You heard me say it? Yeah, you can go ahead and present that to the court and say he's in violation of the court order. Ah! All correspondence shall take place in written form with urgent notices to be sent by text or other appropriate messaging systems. Again, I am not going to tell them anything because everything I say or everything I do, good, bad, or ugly, is used against me in court. F. Absolutely no pictures or videos of Sarah Congrove are to be placed on any website or social media. I'm going to stop right there at F, and I'll go back to F. Because here is Sarah Tyndall's rights being violated. I showed this once before. I don't know if y'all can catch it in frame. This is a notarized signed document from Sarah. It says, before me, the undersigned notary public in and for said state and county personally appeared Sarah Congrove, who is known to me and who is first being duly sworn, doth depose and say as follows. My name is Sarah Congrove, and I reside at 3820 AL Highway 25, Thomasville, Alabama, in the county of Marengo. I have serious health conditions, and my health is failing. I suffer from Marfan syndrome, aortic prolapse, plastic valves in my heart. I lost my mother when she was 23 years old from this same condition. I myself and my fiance, Edward Tyndall, document and share information regarding my condition on his YouTube channel. We do this for educational purposes of this rare condition so that it may help people better understand this condition. I do not wish for nobody to lose a loved one to this condition. In the event that I can no longer share information regarding this condition, I wish for my fiance, Edward Tyndall, to continue to educate people regarding me and my condition on his YouTube channel. Me and my condition. This is our dying wishes that they want to go against. It is my wish that people fully understand all that goes with Marfan syndrome and the effects it has on a person and their loved ones. Signed, Sarah Congrove, right there. You see that? State of Alabama, County of Wilcox. I, the undersigned authority, and in said state and county hereby certify that Sarah Congrove, whose name is signed to the foregoing document and who is known to me, acknowledged before me on this day that the being informed of the contents of said document, she executed the same voluntarily on the day the same bears date, given under my hand and notarial seal on this the 23rd day of July 2018, signed Deborah Ann Kidd. There's where her commission expires. Everything signed and sealed, violation of her rights. Okay, we're at F, and we're going to G. The parties by and through their attorneys in Han, York, are directed to notify the court of any problems or concerns with visitation brought to their attention. Notifications may be faxed to 334-295-2081 or emailed to marengoprobatesw@gmail.com. H. Edward Tyndall shall retain temporary guardianship of Congrove and shall have all duties and authorities as said guardian granted under the Code of Alabama appointed to him, on a temporary basis, subject to the limitations and restricted noted herein. I. Sarah Congrove shall remain at her residence, 3820 Alabama Highway 25, Thomasville, Alabama 3674, unless there is a medical need that requires a higher level of care resulting in a necessary visit to the doctor or hospital. J. All poisonous, dangerous, exotic animals are to remain in a separate building from where Sarah Congrove will reside and be present. Another violation of her rights. And another lie. They changed that. When they first said this, first court order, it was deadly dangerous exotic poisonous ball pythons. Shows how screwed our justice system is. Alright, K. Sarah Congrove shall remain on the first floor of the residence. L. Home health is required to be in the home of Sarah Congrove at a minimum of 1 day a week. So it's court ordered that home health comes, even though there's really no need for them. Or at any time there is a status change in the condition of Sarah Congrove. Which is every day. She's having improvements every day, but I'm not able to share that with y'all because of the violation of Sarah's affidavit, which I honor my wife above all others. That's why there was a Christmas video and I was in contempt of court and they had to charge me financial contempt because there was no room to put me in jail, which is more bullshit. M. Edward Tyndall is responsible for ensuring that the above noted home health visits are arranged and the updates from the home health agency are delivered to the court. I can't control what other people do. N. Edward Tyndall shall not interfere with the direction and orders of doctors or other medical staff in regards to the medical care to Sarah Congrove. This shall include, but is not limited to, home health agents and the administration of pain medication when needed. The only reason Sarah lives is because I stopped the court order from giving Sarah oxycodone that put a trach and a feeding tube in her against a neurosurgeon's orders to not give her none at all. So, because the judge's order, my wife has a trach in her neck and a feeding tube. That makes me further think that they're all trying to kill my wife for some reason. I don't know how. She makes like $80,000 or $90,000 a year, so I don't know why she would need that money. But maybe she don't know about that. Maybe it's not that the judge wants money for my wife's death. Maybe she just believes that the aunt and grandma are right and I'm wrong. But I guarantee you there's money to be made off of her death on their behalf. O. Edward Tyndall is required to provide written reports and updates directly to the probate court on a weekly basis. These reports may be hand-delivered, faxed, or emailed. The first report was due December 16, 2020, and further reports due each Wednesday thereafter. More bullshit. P. Should Sarah Congrove require hospitalization or experience a change in condition or status, Edward Tyndall shall notify the court and petitioners in written form within 48 hours. Again, respect is earned, not given, and not court order forced to me. I'll never write a damn thing to them ever, no matter what. And they can hold me in more contempt if they want to, because this shit's coming to an end very shortly. The guardian and petitioners are entitled to receive updates from medical staff, whether at hospital or at home, including home health records and reports with regards to Sarah Congrove's care and status. That's a funny thing because Sarah put into effect before she had this with every doctor that she wanted, specifically her aunt and grandma, not to have any medical updates on her condition with every single doctor. And then they were complaining in here that they won't call us back. The doctors won't tell us nothing. They won't tell us nothing. That we can't get no information. I wonder why. There's patient-doctor confidentiality. Doctors are not going to dishonor Sarah's wishes. Respect is earned. It's not given. R. Department of Human Resources workers shall be allowed in the home and residence of Sarah Congrove. Why is beyond me. After them taking my kid, having him emergency transferred, 6 times from being molested by foster parents because they took him away from me for having deadly poisonous exotic ball pythons. You can watch the video. They took our son, and they took our son part 2 5 years ago. Double jeopardy is the shit that's happening to me now, except the difference is I don't have Sarah fighting with me. I'm having to fight every day just to keep her alive. S. No posting or recording of Sarah Congrove is allowed at any time she is in the hospital. At no time should Sarah Congrove be recorded while she is at the hospital. Again, for whatever reason she did that, because it violated HIPAA law or whatever, I was in private rooms when I was recording Sarah. And the shit that I recorded of Sarah also is not here. It's with other people. And if anything happens to me, that will be released. Of the unbelievable abuse. Roaches crawling in the hospital. Flies going all in her trach. And they want to bitch about one fly here. And her not being turned every 2 hours, but every 6 hours. I have proof of everything. I have video recording of 3 nurses trying to throw my wife out of bed while I'm sitting there holding her, while she's got poop all the way from her privates up into her neck. And she's sitting there, and I had to peel a piece of her clothes off and I ripped the skin off of her because it had dried for so long. Y'all can figure out how long it takes for poop to dry. She had 53 bed sores, and I recorded it. I recorded it, and I sent that off on 3 different SD cards, 3 different people in 3 different states. All that shit will come out. They're going to leave me alone, or it's going to the news. And again, that violates Sarah's order. T. Edward Tyndall, guardian, is allowed to record himself and provide updates as to Sarah Congrove's status and care, like I'm doing now. U. All visitation of Sarah Congrove shall comply with COVID-19 restrictions as set by the CDC, Center of Disease Control. B. During visitation, visitors shall not smoke, drink alcohol, or do drugs, and shall not record audio or video or take pictures except as otherwise stated herein. W. Personal photos and videos may be taken, but shall not be shared or posted on any type of social media. This shall apply to Edward Tyndall and any and all visitors and guests, including petitioners. But they're filming it, they're sharing stuff, and they're letting the courts allowing them to do it. X. No photos, videos, or other recordings of Sarah Congrove are to be shared or posted on any website or social media. They've done said that in like 10 different letters there. I guess they really want me to get it. They really want me not to show updates of how good my wife's doing, so it'd be easier just to kill her off, put her in hospice and let her die just like they did my uncle. My uncle didn't want to go to hospice, and he told me, you got to get me out of here, please. They're going to kill me. They're doping me up on oxycodone. They murdered my uncle with oxycodone. Why? Any further violation of this court's order or intentional, reckless, or negligent act that result in or could reasonably be considered to result in the harm of Sarah Congrove, whether physical, psychological, or emotional, may result in the removal of rights therefore granted by this court. So, if the aunt and grandma got rights, I have proof. Whatever ad litems are watching or whoever's watching, I have proof that they're causing her problems. I have 22 witnesses that stand right here at this window watching her scream and kick bloody murder the entire time, bruise herself when she was in perfect health. Because it's like anybody. And like this court order said earlier, she's trapped. She cannot escape from that phone that I put right in her face, where she's got to sit there and listen to them tell her how bad her rock is. I am her rock that she leans on. She goes to me. She has separation issues. When I was working, she would go and sit in a truck for hours when I mow. I saved her life and her son when she was about to be murdered. And she has stood by my side nonstop everywhere I go. We didn't even go to the bathroom. If we went to a public restroom, mine or her foot was in the door, making sure we still had hearing contact with each other. That's how inseparable we are. They don't understand. Z, the last letter, finally. Had to hit me with the whole alphabet, thank you very much. Per order of the court, any party, hospital, facility, Department of Human Resources staff, home health worker, or any other interested person is ordered to notify the court of any violations of this order or other concern regarding the safety and well-being of Sarah Congrove. That means anybody that's or any other interested person. So if any interested persons are in here, contact the court and let them know If y'all know anything about Sarah, or over the years, if Sarah has told you anything, then it's a good time to mention that. All parties are noticed that this case has been operating under an emergency petition and resulting order. This emergency matter is due to expire on April 30th of 2021 unless otherwise continued by the order of the court. For a petition of guardianship will be needed to file before that time or further consideration. They're going to keep messing with me, and they're all going to be in jail, is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. If they put me in jail because of violation of court order, when my wife's order overrides that, there's another law that was passed in 1830, I believe, by the KKK, and it's still in effect in the law books, Alabama law books. Anyone that is wrongfully arrested or imprisoned can be punished by imprisonment up to 10 years because I've done nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, the day that happened, I called her aunt and grandma and tried to tell them, and I was giving them hourly updates, and then they responded to that by, "Oh, are you going to go against us?" I said, "No, I'm not going to go against you. Why would I?" "Oh, because we're going to file custody for Mikey." No, the fuck you're not. He's my kid. They were out of their life for 5 years before ever. They're living in Florida. There's proof of it. Living in Florida. Mikey not going to school. He didn't go to school for 5 years. He didn't start going to school until I put him in school. And they're trying to damage his school because they don't want him to have frogs. They don't want him to have anything. They got my son so depressed. You don't even know. My son has Marfan syndrome just like his mother. It's a hell of a toll on him to be told by all these authority people that, the people he's supposed to look up to, that, oh, the ball pythons are deadly and poisonous and exotic and all that kind of crap. I am a professional. They're not a professional in that field at all. They're not. I've got 30 years under my belt, going to schools all over the United States, teaching people about this stuff. And my kid has a companion, kind of like the Charlie Brown character, carries a little blankie around with him. His snake, happy that he's had this whole time, and they're trying to discourage him about that. They're trying to discourage him about the frog projects. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's coming to an end. That's my sworn testimony. And I'm not swearing on the Bible because I'm not a religious person. But I do swear it on everything that I hold dear, that everything I say is the truth. I have no reason to lie. And if anything happens to me, y'all will all know. Everyone will know because it will be all over the news. All over the news with proof. I'm a good person. Y'all watch on the vlog number 147 on the front of my channel. You can see Sarah Tyndall talk for herself ad litem. I recommend y'all watching that too, to see how we give stuff to schools and everything. That was from 2 or 3 years ago, and we started a trend where everybody in the reptile community just gives school supplies out to everyone. So that being said, I wish all y'all peace and love and happiness and all that good shit. Like, subscribe to your friends. Tyndall out.